everyone. Welcome to for the
Yes.
sixth episode of DevKami, and I am Chilean.
I am Tristan.
I'm swimming. I'm adjusting the mic
Yeah,
somehow.
all right. And let's go to the usual. No, not this. The events. What? It's gonna be a busy week. Tomorrow there will be a climate change hackathon.
Oh
Climate
yeah.
reboot. I'm not sure what to do about it. Not sure about the
Yeah,
details as well.
I think we need to do something about that fan.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me move it away.
Yeah. I'm gonna
It's
change the title
really-
to "Swimming and the Fan." The relationship
Swimming,
between swimming and the
swimming
fan.
and his fans.
Yeah.
Swimming and his
Yeah,
fans.
done.
He has a lot of fans.
Done.
Yay.
Yeah. Nicholas is saying hi.
The fan is horrible. Now I
Okay, it's fine now.
One, please.
It's fine now. And let's proceed. It's gonna be
Bar
a
camp. Bar camp.
bar
on
camp.
Saturday.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I
Barcamp is
forgot.
on Saturday.
Actually, I forgot about it.
Yep.
I think Mohan is still looking for speaker. If you're interested, ping him or ping
Mhm.
us so we can give you his contact. So there's another
It's, 2 days.
ML
right?
bootcamp. Oh, it's Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah. So Barcamp, for those that didn't know, Barcamp is actually can I say it's an unconference?
Yeah, it is the unconference.
Yeah,
It's not the
the
original unconference, but it is one of the earliest community-driven one.
Yeah.
So
you go.
the prefix there is UN, meaning not, or the reverse of, right?
What?
The prefix UN means the reverse
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
So
the
in-
negative of a conference.
Yeah. So instead of a CFP, you actually go there and put your topics onto the whiteboard. Normally there's a whiteboard, so people will vote for it, or you just like Singaporean, you chop your seat. So
Yeah.
so you chop it early, then you get to talk about it.
Okay.
So I suppose that's how it works. So and
Yep.
there are a few. There's one Malaysian student technology conference. I'm not sure what about it.
Yeah.
Just have a look at the calendar then, unless Nicholas is willing to explain it to us what that is.
Yes.
And there's a
because I never
ML
thought of
bootcamp.
it.
ML
Yeah.
bootcamp. edX seems to be like it's gonna be happening on Saturday at edX.
Mhm.
edX seems to be like they try to be the hub of big data and machine learning. So
It's their mission actually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
are they still associated with MDEC? They are related to
I
MDEC,
do
right?
not know.
Okay.
Chances it is, but I do not know for sure.
So yep, check it out. And it's actually a private event. But I'm gonna share it anyway. I'm gonna
Mhm.
at Taksuri's office. If the office is empty on Saturday, I'm gonna be
Yep.
conducting a training for recording, mainly for people from Women Who Quit KL, because they are going to have an event at Singapore end of this month, and they are going to record their own event.
What time
Yeah,
what time is your event?
12 to around 2 p.m. But it's a hands-on. It depends. Like you can come in and have your laptop set up. It's basically a hands-on. Like you come in and try to plug in the stuff, try to make it work.
Mhm.
So if you're interested, just come in. And it's a really busy week.
Yes. So Monday there is this EI training. I do not know who is these guys.
Yeah. So just check it out.
Yep.
It's a lot of 20th is a DevOps meetup.
Correct.
Then
we have
more
React meetup on 21st.
Yeah, it's the first React meetup from Malcolm.
Yeah.
Malcolm he's been doing a lot of workshops, but this is his first meetup.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be at InScale. As usual, there's 7 to 9:30. Okay, 7 to 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
So, and on Thursday we have remote
Next
code.
week.
Yeah, it's a really busy week. Gonna happen at Work KL, Product Talk from remote code KL, and for the whole next weekend, it's gonna be PyCon Malaysia 2019.
Yes.
So
get your ticket.
Yeah,
We still have spots.
yeah. If
No discount.
if you're a poor student, you have some problem actually finding the next meal. You can actually next week is a good week to join all the meetups and get free pizzas.
Yes.
And I think that's
So
about
some
it.
event is in the morning, but that's fine.
Anything you want to add it?
No, I think that's about it. For PyCon, we still have seat. Join us, get the ticket. The talk is pretty good this
Hi,
year.
Chris.
It's an interesting mix. And we have an open space, which is essentially whenever the time slot is free with the extra room, tutorial room that we have.
Yeah.
So we have open session, but you still need a ticket to go in lah.
So is this something like a bird or feather?
Yeah, correct. Because the room is it's not full. It's not filled with training tutorial session. And also, if you're a beginner, still join because we actually have workshops and all that. We have a few workshops. You should try your way out.
Free meals.
And talk to us. Yes.
But you still need a ticket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not free. So.
Yeah. If you can come in to help me record.
Yeah.
Record. Yeah, because we only had we have Fast helping me, and another one for that James got it. James, a volunteer that James actually found for me, Jesse. Then only on Sunday that I have Huayu helping me out. So if you want to come, and I think swimming can give you a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I get. It's actually just come in for I don't know, just shoot some videos, interview some people.
Yeah.
So
just say it's swimming's friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay, let's.
All right.
If I say I'm swimming's friend, do I still need a ticket?
No, I think you just come in
Maybe.
you just come in to say like you're doing the recording because I still have another slot.
Okay.
So if you're interested, just come on in. So I don't have to sit there for a whole day, and I can have my own toilet break.
Yes.
All right, let's proceed to the next one. Bus Corner, what's going on?
Believe it or not a lot. It's a dry season. Okay, it was the lead by what are the bank last week or this
Capital
week?
One.
Capital One.
Capital One.
Yeah.
Capital One is this week, right?
I think it's last week. It's server side 4.3.
It's last week. But I think somebody actually created a website called I lost it.
Contra. I'm gonna share
Contra application https://application.security.
Yep.
Very good resource.
It shows you the step by step of how it happened.
Yes.
So I'm sharing a link.
So they didn't create it for the Capital One breach. They already had.
Yeah, it's a platform
for security training. So it's used for like hacking training, security training, right? And they probably saw that Capital One is server-side request forgery, and it's a perfect way to market their platform.
It's sort of it is sort of an interactive platform, like Code Labs.
And also, of many of the training, it's not deep enough that you have to do everything yourself, but it's high level enough that you know the thinking behind.
It's just a replay.
It's kind of attack. Yeah, correct. It's mostly a replay. So it gives you for people that is not very versed in it, I highly recommend it.
Did you try it out, Tristan?
I did. It's very it reminds me a lot of like very bad WordPress installations where where it requests a file and you go dot dot slash dot dot instead on the URL, and you get to slash etc slash password file or the groups or whatever, right? The configuration files. So it feels
Correct.
very similar to this.
So I think it's probably because of rush work or something. They want to be a lot of time. We want to give ourselves a lot of freedom to handle changes. So sometimes we accidentally created endpoints that might be convenient, but also might be an attack vector for these hackers. So keep in mind. So
Then what other thing?
Automatic,
Let's
the company
see.
behind WordPress, is going
they bought up Tumblr.
Yeah, Tumblr. So
Yep.
apparently,
surprisingly, Tumblr also was running PHP behind the scenes.
Yeah, the same stack. Yeah.
So.
And also, Kubernetes just announced their open source security audit, which is good because it actually gives people more confidence in their product, and also more enterprise companies, enterprise company will be less reluctant to adopt it, hopefully. So I think
then another thing that is so I'm going to add one more thing. This is actually a bit recent, as in it's shared among the Baker community for the last 2 days within this week. So there's this tool called runwayml.com. So it's actually a tool that just use existing models and neural network models to do things. So what happened is they call it machine learning for creators. From what I read, it's actually a tool to make it easy for you to use existing neural networks for you to use for your tasks. It uses CUDA and all that, TensorFlow, all that. So using tools that I'm familiar with, but it aimed for people that have they just want to use the neural network.
So that's like the asset stores or the models, 3D printing models, but for ML models.
Yes, but think libraries than 3D printing, programming libraries than 3D printing,
or assets.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I believe often when people talk about neural network, about training and all that, but I want to think that one day we can have neural network as a library. We can literally, as my favorite one, import is dog. It's essentially you're importing a neural network library that identifies dogs, for example, right? So that's, I think, the future of machine learning, because not everyone had a background in AI and want to do training. But
I think it gets to a point where it gets to a point where certain research or model has gonna be complex, so you don't want to focus on doing the stuff that you want. Just like you don't want to write a whole web framework just to program a web page. So you can use bits and pieces from here and there to complete your ML operations.
Correct. So use it as a library instead of training from scratch. So I think that's the last one from me. So anything else for Buzz Corner?
Anything
if not, we should move on.
Yeah. Okay. To the meat of the show.
I'm sorry, I preempt you because it's 10:14. It's my fault. So, all right. So what are we talking about?
We're gonna talk about podcasts or stuff that we subscribe to.
I subscribe to DevKami.
Yeah.
Thursday at 10 p.m. It's like a religious
Yep.
But we won't be talking about podcasts, isn't it? Because I don't follow podcasts that much recently.
It's not necessarily podcasts, but basically resources that we follow to get ourselves updated. Like, let's say Hacker News is something that I think most of us follow. So what else do we follow for knowledge or for getting ourselves updated?
Yeah.
So swimming corner.
So
I'm volunteering swimming first.
So one of the things that I follow, because I'm heavily leaning toward being a Python developer. So one of my first research is actually Python Weekly. It's a mailing list. So it's actually everything Python, from basic software development, web application development, to machine learning. Whatever.
We lost you, streaming.
One of my.
We lost you a
I
bit.
don't have good network here.
Yeah.
So Python Weekly is one of the resources I would recommend.
I think it's also a good tip that if you're interested in certain technology, so let's say you're into Elixir, you can try to Google for Elixir Weekly, just like the awesome list, like Python or awesome Python, awesome Go. Like you can also search for like Golang Weekly, Elixir Weekly, Rust Weekly, and you can probably find also like Web Ops, DevOps, SecOps. You can probably get them, and they're gonna be delivered to your mailbox every week. And in the most convenient way to get yourself updated.
So does that mean I should start buying domains? Like I don't think there's a Ruby Ops. So should I buy it?
No, but there's a Ruby Weekly.
I think there's a Ruby Weekly.
Well, there is a Ruby Weekly.
I'm sure there's a Ruby Weekly.
There's
Ruby
no
Ops.
Yeah, there's no Go Ops, for example. Should I buy it?
I don't think people are using that.
Just in case, right?
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah.
You never know.
How do you know?
So that's one from me. What other mailing lists you guys follow?
I follow the Golang one. I follow Web Ops. Let me have a look. I follow the Rust one. There's also one called Status Code, which is actually a Web Ops mailing list. So React, mobile, Haskell, Elixir, JavaScript, Flutter.
Okay.
I also follow a Kotlin, like Switch Weekly to get to know like what sort of games are gonna come out.
Okay.
When do you read these resources? Like for podcasts, right? Like when you're driving, but all of these, I don't know, when do you consume them?
Because they come in digest and they don't arrive at the same day mostly. So like some of them arrive on Monday and stuff. If I'm busy, then I'll just click it and check like what's the latest going on. So most of these it's like a really good digest of what really happened, and the quality are normally pretty nice.
Yeah.
Still depends on the list that you subscribe. Yeah.
Correct. Most of the weeklies that community recommend, you can find it on Hacker News and all that, is pretty good. So Tristan, what do you follow? Anything weekly or follow?
No, just the Ruby Weekly. I don't even.
Right.
I don't. I have a lot of subscriptions that I just archive in Gmail, and so most of the time it's just like, oh, Twitter decides to finally email me something, and oh, that's actually interesting, like some stuff from Matt's, or it shows up on the engineers.my Slack group. People start posting things and I hear about it, or like in Facebook it just shows up something interesting and then I hear about it as well. So it's less of the curated stuff, but more of like whatever comes my way, and then if it's interesting, then it's interesting.
Like Chris and Nicholas, what do you guys subscribe to? Just put it into the message box and they're gonna display it, because Streamlabs is awesome.
So another thing, so another place that I actually follow stuff is actually, I actually subscribe Planet Python on my RSS reader, then also Hack a Day. So do you know Hack a Day? What is Hack a Day is about?
Yeah, you're gonna explain it to us.
So Hack a Day is hardware hacking. It's a blog that heavy toward hardware hacking. So a lot of electronics, occasionally software development. Sometimes they cover things like how microcontroller works, microcontrollers that can run machine learning models. So they cover everything fine, right? But heavily heavily hardware focused, maker focused, but they don't go a lot. They don't actually go a lot into like 3D printing and stuff. They do go there occasionally, but that's not the main thing. So they will describe like how an engine works, how people built engine the old days. So they cover a lot of the hardware things. Then another I follow is R bloggers.
Yeah, we lost you.
No.
It's a blogs. I have no idea. I don't have a good place to put them.
Why do you follow our blogger anyway? Because you're not a R programmer. I don't think you like R.
So R blogger is R. I like R because it get things done, but R blogger is interesting because they are not always technical focused. As in they happen to use R, but they cover things like NBA prediction, NFL, if it's sports seasons in the US, they use R for that. Then they use R for.
Like, have they been?
I do not know, but no, but they follow the standard practice of sport analytics. So you learn quite some sport analytics things, insurance, econometrics, and all that. So R blogger is interesting because it's use R, but use R in not just software development purposes. So I find that pretty interesting. It expands my view of how people use program. And finally, on the blog side, I will also recommend Flowing Data.
Wait, I'm going to share it out.
Flowing Data is a data visualization blog. So, also, I just want to say I'm interested that it's not just software development.
I do follow web comics that are not related to software development.
It's fine. Yeah. Let's share out. Okay, we're gonna be doing. Tristan's gonna.
So there's XKCD, of course. Let me show up. Let me get my.
I heard I heard some people actually memorize all the XKCD.
The numbers, right? Like this is I don't know, like 1073 when someone talks about Bobby tables or something.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me get my feet. Wait, let me get my
You can share your screen if you want to.
No, I'm using my iPad. So
right.
Because my other laptop is in the office right now. Let's see, what am I subscribed to? So there is Gilbert.
The best best management book.
Yeah. Always,
all the best management advice are there.
Questionable content is actually quite good because it tries to explore the relationships between
look at the love from Chris.
and AI. So like humans and AI and their interactions and all of these ethical issues that they do, like what happens when an AI falls in love with a human or something like that. There's Saturday morning breakfast cereal, which is
that's good.
Yeah, it's a different kind of humor. It's a very philosophical kind of humor. Very dark
it's a mix of
sometimes.
science fiction, science, and philosophy. Highly recommended.
There is Looking for Group, which is just like some kind of fantasy stuff. It's also okay, but least I could do is by the same.
Is there something like a D&D kind of?
Yeah, so it's an elf,
okay,
an orc, and a dwarf and a necromancer having adventure. So it's kind of fantasy, but it's also very, very good. But the same author, so the same artist, did this comic called Least I Can Do, least I could do, which is more of a sitcom commentary about current events. So that is also a bit somewhat funny for me. Then there is Commit Strip. If you haven't heard about it, it's a French.
Yes, recommended. Very good.
Yeah, it's a French.
Yeah, sometimes
Also, the
satire about the
translation is very good.
industry.
Yeah, it's quite on point on some of its commentary. Like, for example, this one 2 months ago. There you are, the best brother in the world. Hey sis, it's just been a long time since you came over. I made your favorite for dinner. I'm really happy to have you. We haven't seen each other for months. And then, okay, stop messing around. Yes, I will fix your computer. So that's an old like a common story for everything.
Yeah, this
And
we gotta fix the printer.
yeah, and then there's something else would be like a girl and her pet, which is a story about people who were implanted computers in their brain, and it actually was able to tune into uh, you know, the afterlife or something like that, like ghosts, and so they were able to contact ghosts and talk to ghosts, and apparently ghosts become more powerful the more famous they are. So it's an interesting, a very interesting premise. So those are the comics that I actually follow. I don't follow, like I said.
Can you send me the list so I can share it on the Facebook page?
Sure, I will send you the list in a bit. But yeah, so those are the things that I have, and of course there's Manga Stream for your weekly Shonen Jump or whatever manga.
Let's
And that's
keep
it
it
for me.
legally legal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, one more. Well, speaking of manga, there's Kipen manga, which is very funny because it always has a twist in the end. So I will probably send some links there as well.
Mhm.
So, yep. I think you guys have a more diverse source of information than I am.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we might spend too much because that's just website. So now
Yeah.
I'm going to cover a bit about YouTube.
YouTube.
So
Okay.
YouTube,
What do
other
you
than
follow?
DevKami, I follow a lot of weird stuff. There's this one called
Legal stuff?
Eons.
Are you have to make sure they're legal?
Yeah, they're legal. No, it's the thing that I follow is generally family friendly. Unless you're conservative Christian family, then I cannot guarantee you that because the first one I've shared is actually Eons that describe about Earth and the evolution of life on Earth. I
Eon
highly
from
recommend
PBS?
this.
From
PBS,
PBS?
correct. I highly recommend this because it talk about the world we never know about. 4 billion years of Earth, how life evolved, what is the first creatures. Do you know that one of the first plant that actually reach the surface is actually a fungus the size of
Yeah. The
trees.
shrooms.
So big size
Big
mushrooms.
shrooms.
Yes. So the first mammal is synapsid, which is very weird, and you got hoof. Few million years ago, you got crocodiles that runs on hooves. I recommend this. It's very nice. That's the
Then you
first
have a
resource I have.
predatorial pig as well.
Yes, hell pig is awesome. It's one of the most awesome thing on the planet. Another one I would recommend right now is actually Wisecrack. A lot of Wisecrack is about of social commentary of media. So one of the last episode is the name is called is or so
We
the deep
lost
are
you.
very good. They make you think about. So Wisecrack talk about media and how to digest media, whether your media, their Vice or a deep or dumb series is about like make you think about movies and stuff. They used to do a thing called I'm not sure whether they still do it. Very interesting show. And the final one that is good. Oh man, I follow so much. I've
Yeah,
also
bring it
followed a lot of
on.
nonsense.
Bring it on.
Um, Scott Manley. He's an actual astronomer. He's also very well known for his Kerbal Space Program video, but he's an actual astronomer. So he's an actual astronomer, and he'd like to talk about space things. And we have, but we add that we also have, uh, Amy.
Oh no!
We lost you. We lost you, Swimming. We lost you.
Yeah, I tried. Okay, disclaimer: I tried to fix the QoS. I don't have a good way for this, and I cannot get out of this room. The reason I cannot get out of this room is because they're very loud outside.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, vintage space. Vintage space. Vintage
Swimming,
space.
I start to wonder how Swimming get so much time to consume all this.
I'm single and lonely. Deal with it. Vintage space, and then I don't follow at one time, so I don't do everything at one time. So I kind of like once a day I pick one and pick a random one. I don't follow the whole thing. So which is what that's a secret. You don't have to follow everything. Follow the interesting one. So for example, Vice Crack, I don't look at all their stuff, only some of the stuff. Final one.
Okay, I'm gonna share one of the YouTube channel. It's not related to tech or knowledge at all, but they are pretty awesome. So
Yes.
I'm gonna wait you to finish. Okay, wait for you to finish.
So the last one is Great Big Story. So if short of time but not want to learn something, follow this one.
They're very concise.
Yes.
And very good production quality as well.
Correct. So I think that's the best one that I'd like to share.
I'm following this on YouTube. I'm following this group called Steam Power Giraffe. It's actually a band which they combine steampunk, mime, and sort of and the way because why it's so special because it's not just steampunk because the way they mime they actually behave like robots. So like check them out. They're awesome.
There's also Because Science, which is like applying science to superhero powers, for example. So that's also interesting.
Yeah. I tried science, and they are very concise.
Yeah, Because Science is like it's like popular science, I guess. So that's nice.
Yeah.
So and Chris actually reminds us to talk about podcasts. What podcasts are you following?
Yeah, so YouTube. Most of the episodes on YouTube right now are actually in a podcast friendly format where they might have visuals. Like for example, the ones that I forgot, like Don't Forget to Be Awesome People. I forgot that one. Hank Green, what's his series? So those people they might have visuals, but they actually are in a podcast friendly format. So what I would do is, I would go in the morning. I would just go through the feed, download the episodes, and then on my way to the office, during my commute, I just play them. And what's good about YouTube download, if you replay them, is that there are no advertisements, and so it's offline. Plus, it's no advertising, so you just listen and you don't have to interact with ads or anything like that. so the podcast and the YouTube episodes, just like what we're doing now, YouTube episodes and podcasts are getting.
So which if you're gonna consume podcast, which mobile app do you
I'm
use
using-
for?
For YouTube, it's YouTube. I just download YouTube with a YouTube app.
So for
you can
podcast,
download
like
it?
for the audio podcast, do you use any app?
I don't like I mentioned. I don't actually listen
Okay.
to audio.
Streaming, how about you?
podcasts, recently,
Can you see Google Podcast here?
Do you use any app?
I use a thing
No,
called
I'm gonna
Google
focus your
Podcast.
screen.
You
Yeah, I
use
use
Google
Google
Podcast?
Podcast as well. Yeah.
I consider switching is not that good, but one day I'll be progressing.
Actually,
with
switch
it.
it from TuneIn.
Oh, okay.
But the problem with
Switch it for
TuneIn is
something else.
the problem with TuneIn is that the selection is not necessarily. It's the way they index. They don't index everything, so I actually get
Yeah.
less choices. I actually paid for
one-
it, but the problem with that is
Okay.
the app seems to be, after years, they seem to be lagging behind. The performance kind of like comparably more terrible than the Google Podcast. So when Google Podcast came out, I just switched immediately.
Yeah. So the thing about podcast app is one thing I don't like about podcast app. By the way, I'm trying to move closer to the Wi-Fi, without causing too much voice. Hope this works. Okay. Podcast app industry. The thing is, a lot of the podcast app have tendency to have a premium support for content. Stitcher have that. But I never see Stitcher, but that actually has some very interesting dynamic happening.
Audible also
let's
has
go to
it.
the main. Yeah, Audible have it. Everybody had some interesting. It as if there's a war happening there. But let's focus on the main topic.
Yeah.
What's the podcast I would recommend? Hidden Brain. I've recommended this many times.
Yep.
It's
I-
about
one up,
psychology and all that.
I'm listening to that as well.
Correct.
So
Uh,
we're gonna
you're
we're
not
gonna
so
do. I'm gonna do this. What do you call the game again? Shit. The one where you cross all the numbers. So
Oh,
like
you
if you
mean
get a like
bingo?
bingo, I'm gonna do a podcast bingo with swimming. So indulge me.
Okay. All right. You are not so smart.
Yeah.
Planet Money.
Yep.
99%
something
invisible.
Sorry.
Yep. To somebody you want to add.
No, like tell me something I don't know.
Okay, tell me something I don't know. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
is that a podcast?
Yeah, it's a podcast.
They have a podcast format, but they don't do it all the time.
Okay.
But I think they might merge it to the parent show. It's called you're still going to cross this. It's called I lost it. No, Freakonomics Radio.
Mm.
I think I can find similarity between economics with Hidden Brain.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So-
Stuff you
sorry,
should know.
Yeah.
Okay, Christian?
Because we were talking about podcast apps, and I was really frustrated as well with the podcast apps, like you said, right? So I actually made a podcast app for myself. So you'll see
Oh,
it
really?
there, Para Podcast. So if I open
All right, we're gonna uninstall our podcast app and
Yeah.
you're gonna.
but it's this
In
only
fact-
the one
Is that on Play Store?
that I follow. No, this is just for the stuff that I follow. So
Okay.
you can. It's just the.
God damn it.
So is it native or hybrid?
It's a PWA.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Just
I
wanted
will
to
throw you
get
money
that out.
to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, just wanted.
Okay. Okay. So back to bingo. Stuff you should know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're in a.
Omnibus.
No, I
Sorry.
didn't know about that. I think we are sort of in a because the social circle that we have, we are sort of in a
Yes.
our own filter bubble. So a lot of the stuff we know intersects with each other's. I think mine might be different from yours. Philosophitis.
No.
Okay. Writing excuses.
No.
It's about like a bunch of authors talking about like how
Okay.
they design their stories and stuff. And the one
nice
that I
to
really
hear.
like is the Spot Food. It's about food.
Okay.
I think you follow this as well. Malcolm Gladwell, revisionist history.
Yes.
Okay.
He don't do it all the time, but when he do
Yeah.
it, it's nice.
Yeah. And Stuff You Miss in History class.
No.
It's pretty good. It's one of my daily driver. Invincibilia.
No. I used to.
It's some of the topic is pretty. Some of them are really hard.
Yeah. It's a very
Because
hard topic.
it's talking about the psychology and stuff.
Yes.
And I think the one that I'm gonna recommend, the Moth. The Moth is a bunch of people.
Wow.
It's actually sharing people's stories. It's actually a movement, something like a meetup group like Junior Dev or something like that. That where they gather together to tell a real story about their what they have encountered previously.
Oh, okay.
And Year Hustle.
No.
Year Hustle is actually a podcast from the prison.
Okay.
So it's about like their life in the prison. So
Okay.
and how they got there and basically telling stories about it. I think
So
that's
how about
about
Kristen?
it.
No,
Kristen?
I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of
Okay.
stuff. Just those that
So
I don't listen to podcasts that often, like I mentioned.
okay. What are two that I would recommend as well? Extra is Lexicon Valley, and you watch that. Listen to that.
Lexical.
It's about linguistic.
Okay.
So Lexicon Valley is about linguistic. So they talk about languages, and he liked to use Broadway classical music and all that to talk about how people talk in languages. And he sometimes use Chinese. He's horrible, but then I'm a native Chinese speaker, so I'm biased. Types of history. Types of history. It's a so it started with Roman, the end of the Roman, beginning and end of the Roman Empire. Nowadays, that goes somewhat toward the modern history. And he had this person had a book called "The Storm Before the Storm" about the fall of the Roman Empire. I want to read it. I didn't have time to get the book yet. And finally, I would recommend Omnibus. Omnibus is by Ken Jennings. He's well known as the big winner of Jeopardy until being dethroned recently. So he had the longest streak. Omnibus is, as the topic said, an encyclopedia reference of strange but true stories compiled as time capsule. So if you want something weird but interesting, Omnibus is recommended.
I forgot about this. One podcast that I follow is called The Law. It's about a person basically telling stories. He tried to make it creepy, but it's actually pretty nice. His voice is really nice.
It can be creepy. It can be creepy. Seriously.
At one time, I
but
was
it's
listening.
not
I was listening to this while walking across the woods to my to the place where I used to stay. So it actually felt extra spooky, like because also like the feel
like
and the
law
environment.
because but law is cool also because they tell you story that you do not know about. So it kind of made me curious that what is the story that not many people know about around us, right? So I may want to find out, but I don't have
It's
to
more about storytelling because he's not trying to tell you or try to explain to you like whether this is true or false. He leaves it to you to decide. But basically, he's the one who just the person who to deliver the story to you. And a lot of these podcasts that I follow are on YouTube as well. So
So speaking of story, I follow this gaming playthroughs, I guess, let's plays, mainly because this person goes for the story and actually reads through every single text on the screen, or allows the whole thing to go through. And like for example, he played Civilization, for example, so he allows the whole when you build a wonder, it will read it out, or he will say exactly what he's doing. So it's actually quite nice to do
Is
as a
it sort of
podcast.
role playing as well? While
No,
playing.
he doesn't. He doesn't do
Okay.
the role play. Well, he does play role playing games, but he doesn't role play. So
Okay.
his name is Christopher Odd. He was quite well known for his XCOM videos, but like
I
for
know
example,
Christopher. Oh, yeah.
yeah. So he's doing They Are Billions right now. So it's like he goes through each of the secrets, the lore. So he's not there to finish the game. He's there to talk about the story, and which is like really good, because if you just like get like on your commute, you don't have time to watch the video, like you can imagine the whole thing happening even when you're just on your earphones. So it's really good. It's
Mhm.
podcast friendly. Let's play. It's
So I
Okay,
probably
think
the
there's one on
only
my side.
gaming. Yeah, that's probably the only gaming channel that I follow. So
right.
I'm not sure.
So talk about storytelling. Have you followed Vlog's brother?
Nope. I don't.
No,
Oh,
but I
Hank
follow.
Greens and
Oh, basically
Yeah.
the green.
yeah.
Well,
I find the format
what's
interesting.
what's their channel again? The one, not the vlog one, the one by Hank Green, where
The crash
um
course.
that's one
It's
of
not
them.
extra
The
credits.
the science one.
No. Yeah. It's the education one.
Yeah, the educational, and they have the Don't
Yeah,
Forget to Be Awesome, the DFB, Don't Forget to Be Awesome,
the
DFTBG or
FTBA.
something, DFTBA as
Yeah,
their call sign or something.
yeah.
So
Oh my goodness, I need to find it.
there's
Have
a
you tried to? Yeah,
there's the Physics Girl one as well. That's also
yeah.
interesting.
Physics Girl is awesome. Yes, Physics
Or
Girl.
the one that
Let me share
what's
that.
it? Minute
Diana
Physics, like
Coleman.
doom to doom 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 with the sticks figures. Minute Physics. If
Yep.
he
Minute Physics
ever
is awesome because it's
makes
concise.
make if he ever make new ones, though he hasn't
Yep. Number file and
made new
computer
ones yet.
file as well.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
like
and
computer file
computer
as
file
much as
that
number file. I don't know why.
yeah. Number five is very deep. That's the thing. It's very abstract for me. I like it, but I don't watch it all the time.
So the
Uh,
latest one for number file is like Amazing Graphs. You should try to do. You should watch it and actually try and graph it for yourself. Because it's just about number sequences. So there's a formula. You can generate the sequences yourself.
yeah.
You can plot them against X and Y, and actually do
Mhm.
the graphs of those. It's sometimes the graphs are really really interesting.
One that I
So
follow a lot. Used to follow a lot is Cody's Lab.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is he's basically a geologist, so he had a lot of
Okay.
chemistry and a lot of random stuff, but mainly focus around chemistry. But the problem with that is that a lot of people reported his video because they associate those chemistry tutorial to bomb making and stuff. So a lot of his older videos, pretty good videos, were removed.
So one of the new project by Hank Green, the Green Brothers, one of the Vlog brothers, Journey to the Microcosmos. It's a very small story about micro microbiology. Then have you guys watched restoration video before?
You know,
Oh,
what
those
is
guys are
restoration video?
interesting. They
so
literally
SciShow.
restore junk.
Yeah. Sorry, it's
Oh, you
SciShow.
watch
The one
SciShow.
that you're
SciShow is
talking about.
awesome,
SciShow. That's the Don't
concise
Forget to Be Awesome
and
one
stuff. Yes.
by Hank Green.
I
Yeah.
follow Jonathan Blow.
Here's some trivia. Did you know that John Green is an author,
Yep, for
and
young
Yeah.
adults novel.
he wrote the star thing. What was that again? The star. Wait. The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
well known.
Yeah, that was a very like
Yeah,
that
his
was a
books.
very famous
Yeah,
book.
I was surprised the first time I saw him. Like then I turned back the books and looked and saw his picture, and I was really surprised.
Mhm.
Yes.
Before I know he's actually an author.
Of course, in SciShow, they did like an Easter egg there when they were talking about earthquakes because they
Mhm.
talked about the fault in our earth.
Ah,
That's like
that's
the
typical
fun
of
there.
them.
Well, is that
I mean, we
French?
follow a lot. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I'm learning French and Latin. Oh, do you know that there is
Doing the
some?
podcast.
Yeah, maybe. The Royal Institution also have a YouTube channel, and the cool thing is,
Which
the
royal
Royal
institution?
the British Royal Institution.
Okay. I
You
was
know
wondering
that
why.
every year they do. Every
Yeah.
year
What?
in Christmas they have a talk. It's on YouTube as well officially, which is very cool. Very cool.
There's also Alex, the French guy cooking. I'm going through
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw
the
that before.
creators of
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a French guy with a French accent, speaking English,
Mhm.
teaching cooking. So those
Mhm.
are interesting. Of course, there's By Heart as well, but she hasn't been
Mhm.
producing much videos lately. By Heart is great if you want to have an alternative way of thinking about
Mhm.
mathematics.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thanks to her, Pi Day is a lie.
Yeah.
We need we should use Tau.
Hmm.
Tau forever.
Yeah, I think
We
that's
need
so
Tau.
I don't so that's the thing. I what happens is I don't subscribe to particular podcasts, but the YouTube algorithm has been really, really good in such that
Hmm.
it knows what I prefer. And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
whatever is on recommended, I just scroll through it and okay, this looks interesting and then I watch it. So that's how I come upon all of these things. Three Blue One
Mhm.
Brown is also good, by the way. Three Blue One Brown was
Ah,
is a really good visualization and like if you've never, for example, if you've struggled about calculus, like what does it mean, then he has a very good
mhm.
explanation about what calculus is all about, what is dx and what does an infinitesimal mean and what does it how does it have to do anything to do with area. So
So let's see what there is on the chat. Hmm.
during this segue, of course, please like the video.
Yeah.
Apparently, we were talking
What,
about
Nicholas?
YouTube algorithms. So liking the video apparently
Yeah.
tells
And
YouTube
no,
to
they.
recommend it more to more people.
Yeah. And no, there is no. There's no little person behind YouTube that follows what you like and recommend it.
Mhm.
Sorry, bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you click
Well,
like, then you
don't leave. Yeah.
yeah. So if
So
you click like on the
don't
video,
laugh.
it tells the
It's
YouTube algorithm that this video is
I think
recommendation worthy. So please help us as well.
I
Click like.
think that's about. I think that's about it. Anything else that we want
yes.
to add in from the chat?
Yeah.
There's a few boundless TED talks. This show
Yeah.
from Nicholas.
Yes.
You know,
TED
and Justin
Talks.
just got in.
Justin says, "Howdy, you're an hour
Howdy.
late."
Yeah. Howdy,
You
yo.
can always listen to the replay
Yeah.
Yeah.
and click like.
And I need to fix the network.
Yep, I think that we can actually end this early today.
Yes.
5 minutes. Anything we want to add in?
No, I think it's fine. It's
I
all good.
we
Simi,
have
do you have
too
any?
many resources, man. Nah, we have too
Yeah.
many resources.
Put it this way. Let's give me your list, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook.
Yeah,
On
I
the
probably need to
DevKami page.
compile it. Yeah.
You need some time to compile. Okay, take your time. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I think that's
Ooh,
about it.
girlfriend reviews.
So
Go.
what swimming? If we get that list and we upload it to our computer, does that mean we've uploaded your consciousness onto the
Yeah.
laptop? And we have
Part
No,
of it. At
no.
least.
AI now? No, not doesn't work that way. Okay.
At least part of you.
Small
Right.
part. Small part.
Bye.
We're gonna
See you
gonna
next
end
week.
early.
Bye.
We're gonna just click like and subscribe, and see you
Yep.
guys next week. Bye,
Yes.
folks.
And we are.